everyone, it's me Pratima, and in this video I'll be going through my top picks for the best phones of 2023 from the absolute budget segment to mid-range to flagship devices. A lot has happened this year in the world of smartphones and I have a ton of phones to cover, so let's kick things off with the budget segment. To be honest, this space has been quite boring in the past few years. Since people are willing to spend more on their phones these days, most brands have neglected the affordable smartphone market. But I feel like the Redmi 12 5G, also known as the Poco M6 Pro, pretty much single-handedly kept this section alive this year, making it my easy pick for the best budget phone of 2023. For some 12,000 rupees in India, which is about $150, this guy gets a lot of things right, which is especially more impressive considering how it's also a 5G ready phone. A premium glass sandwich design? Check. How about a processor so powerful it does not even feel like you're using a budget phone? Check. Or a fairly smooth 90Hz display and all-day battery life? Double check. Okay, obviously Xiaomi had to compromise somewhere and its camera quality is not the best, but the Redmi 12 5G is such an incredibly well-rounded device that I'd be happy to recommend it to anyone looking for a nice budget phone. Moving up the price ladder a little, under 20,000 rupees or some $200, there were a lot of good phones that launched this year. But for me, Samsung's Galaxy A24 and the Poco X5 Pro are easily the best two picks. Both of them offered a great smartphone experience, but in their own unique kind of way. With the Galaxy A24, you have a decent combo of a good AMOLED display, reliable cameras, and top-notch software, alongside 4 years of OS and 5 years of security updates, which is something unheard of in this price segment. As for the Poco X5 Pro, this thing offered a lot for the price as well, especially in terms of the performance thanks to the Snapdragon 778G chip. Things like display, cameras, battery life on this thing were pretty solid too. Okay, now the mid-range smartphone segment, and honestly, it was really crowded this year, like super jam-packed, and I can only hope such cutthroat competition continues in 2024. But out of all the launches, two of them impressed me the most. One is the OnePlus Nord 3 and the other is the Motorola Edge 40. I think the OnePlus Nord 3 is a perfect example of the company steadily trying to regain its momentum from like 4 to 5 years ago. For the price, it did a fantastic job of bringing a flagship tier smartphone experience at a fraction of the price. Likewise, the cameras here are also quite good. It brings flagship level haptics, nice design, and an impressive high resolution display. And the Motorola Edge 40 borrowed a similar formula as well. Like the OnePlus Nord 3, it also shipped with an outstanding design, a brilliant OLED display on top of fluid performance and clean Android software. But Motorola went a couple of steps further with this guy by adding features like IP68 dust and water resistance and even wireless charging for that premium feel. Whereas for fans of the Samsung experience, the Galaxy A34 and the Galaxy A54 were a couple of good mid-range devices. Of course, they're not as fast as the competition, but it was a safe bet for most non-techie buyers. Okay, moving on, in 2023, we saw a lot of gaming phones too. The flagship models like Asus ROG Phone 7 or Nubia's Red Magic 8 series were great and all, but what really caught my eye this year is just how good gaming phones got in the mid-range segment. And no other phone left as good an impression on me as the iQOO Neo 7 and the iQOO Neo 7 Pro. With a powerful chipset at helm complemented by a capable cooling system and a ton of gaming-oriented features, the iQOO Neo 7 series were easily the gaming phone to beat in the mid-range arena. Even its cameras were pretty amazing, which is something gaming phones have always struggled with. Other than those two, I also want to give a quick shout out to the Infinix GT10 Pro as it managed to deliver a great gaming experience at an even more affordable price point. The premium mid-range segment this year was full of energy as well, with lots of excellent phones from all major smartphone makers, and among them all, the Nothing Phone 2 and the OnePlus 11R stole the spotlight for me. I know the Phone 2 was a bit overpriced and also a little unpolished at launch, but both of those issues have been solved over time. It's much more reasonably priced right now, and Nothing has fixed much of the software affairs like the cameras and battery optimization too. But the biggest highlight of the Nothing Phone 2 for me is still its ridiculously responsive software. And of course, all these flashing lights at the back. I know some folks are still going to dismiss it as a gimmick, but I must admit this glyph interface, as nothing calls it, is a fun design element that comes in handy every now and then. The OnePlus 11R, on the other hand, keeps things nice and simple, that too at a pretty competitive price. Its performance is first class, and so are its display, battery life, and all that. But what I love the most about this phone is how OnePlus made it better with every software update, particularly in the camera department. And if you were to ask me my pick for the flagship killer of 2023, it would definitely be none other than the OnePlus 11. While the company had essentially lost its charm by increasing the price of its flagship phone every year, all that changed with the OnePlus 11. With a super duper aggressive price, making it a no-brainer to anyone who's looking to buy a flagship phone without spending the flagship money. And although it does not exactly have that flagship beat, mostly in terms of the cameras, the compromises OnePlus made with this phone are 100% justifiable considering its price. Alright, so let me now talk about some standout compact phones of 2023, because compact phones just don't get the amount of love they deserve these days. And let's start with Samsung's Galaxy S23, which is arguably the best compact phone in the Android space. This thing does not really cut corners anywhere and offers a fantastic flagship smartphone experience while also being super comfortable to hold. Except for battery life maybe, but that's something you're going to have to deal with on any small phone, so I can't really single out the Galaxy S23 in this regard. The Pixel 8 is another compact phone that caught my eye this year. Google did a terrible job with its launch price, yes, but the Pixel 8 still impresses in a lot of ways, especially if you care about an incredible camera system and all the AI stuff you'd expect from a Google phone. Also, its Tensor G3 chip, which I complained about in my review, has also gotten substantially better with updates, whereas on the Apple side of the fence, the iPhone 15 is my easy pick for the compact phone of 2023. The dynamic island here and a USB-C port there, on top of faster performance and slightly better camera, all add up to make the iPhone 15 a solid phone overall. Now, before getting into the best flagship phones, I want to talk about my favorite foldables of this year, because the foldable industry finally saw some real competition in 2023, leading the way for even better devices and more choices for us, the consumers. And in the flip phone category, I am going to have to give it to the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5. Samsung's foldables had been getting rather boring for the past couple of years, but the Flip 5 finally brought some meaningful improvements, like a bigger and a more usable cover display and a gapless hinge design. But as I said earlier, Samsung's book-style foldable, the Galaxy Z Fold 5, was once again a dull upgrade, and this paved the perfect path for OnePlus Open to shine, which gets my vote for the best foldable of 2023. OnePlus somehow managed to bring a nearly flawless foldable phone in their very first attempt. From a handy design to excellent displays, top-notch cameras, and decent battery life, the OnePlus Open is easily this no-compromise foldable phone that I've been waiting for such a long time. I've got to admit, I wasn't expecting OnePlus to do so well in the software side of things, but the company clearly did a fantastic job with all the multitasking features and all. So yeah, the OnePlus Open feels like such a complete package to me that I believe it can convince even the most hesitant folks to give foldables a try. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get into the best flagship phones of 2023. First off, I just want to say that a lot of brands came up with excellent flagship devices this year, including the Xiaomi 13 Pro, the Honor Magic 5 Pro, and Vivo's X90 series. But for a phone to be considered the best in this category, I am looking for something that gets everything right. And the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra and the iPhone 15 Pro Max were ultimately the two phones that did it for me in the ultra premium smartphone space. Recently, I also made a separate video comparing these two, where I said that the S23 Ultra and the iPhone 15 Pro Max are the prime examples of the very best that the smartphone industry has to offer in 2023. These two perfectly nail the premium smartphone experience in every single way, and choosing either one is just a matter of what ecosystem you're most comfortable with and nothing more. So everyone, that was all for this video. I hope you liked it, and if you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up down below. Also, let me know if you agree with my list or if you think some other phone could have made it to the list. Saying this, I'm Pratima, and I will see you in my next video.